This is probably the Mount Everest of hauntings in the Western New York area.
So there's a house that we're talking about right around the corner up this hill a little bit. It's widely popularly known as the exorcism house. They brought in an exorcist to basically rid this particular house of ghosts. In turn, the exorcist himself, his advice at the end of the line was to tell this family to move out.
Right, right.
When we're talking about the Hinsdale house itself, a lot of this stuff starts outside, right? With a lot of the experiences.
Yeah. It starts, I would say most of it starts outside. And then it just develops. It's not like one of those classic cases where it's inside and it follows you out. It seemed like with Clara, everything, it was all outside. And then it slowly followed them into the house. A lot of Native American graves up here. Again, that 3,000 to 5,000 years old. These are burial mounds. These are Neolithic
and they're just
Indians.
in walking distance of this.
Oh yeah, they're not too far away. I mean, there's about 3 I found over there, and I know there's a nice big one over here on the property that you won't, the neighboring property that they won't allow us on. This is back in the 70s, 75, 70,
Okay.
76, even maybe a little bit earlier. We could be talking about the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And Clara, when I interviewed Clara, I mean, she was just like a massive font of information.
Clara's one of the previous owners.
Clara Miller,
Clara
originally
Miller?
Clara Dandy, one of the original
The
owners.
Dandies.
Yeah.
That's the family that
lived here in the 70s.
So with all the experiences that people have had, it's all started with the Dandy family in the 70s.
Right, apparently.
And the father coming in to do the exorcism.
Exactly, apparently. And most of it started outside of the house. I mean, your classic cases are always something happens in the house. There's a sighting, there's a feeling or whatever. That's not the case. This is an opposite case. Everything started outside. They saw a young boy with a gun walking through the woods back here. Most of everything that happened out here. And this, where we are now, is believed. Now, again, I haven't seen any of the titles or any of the old maps of this area, but this supposedly was where the barn was located, and it was.
Now you mentioned this barn, and I know you stick with a lot of facts, right? So
I try.
We're trying.
I try.
Everything that we've spoke about before is basically what somebody has told you personally, or the actual facts that you have.
Right, that I've researched.
So we know a lot of folklore surrounds this building, this haunted Hinsdale house.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories touches upon the barn that you said used to be about right here where we're standing.
Right.
So it is my understanding that there is a story connected with this house, that there used to be a stagecoach trail that used to pass through here.
Yeah, probably 1 mile, 2 miles down the road.
So the story with the stagecoach and the barn is that there was a gentleman who actually used to live here who would rob and kill certain wealthy individuals that were traveling along this stagecoach. He'd pick them out for their fancy jewelry and their watches and then bring them back here and obviously kill them and steal their stuff. Now the story is that he would bury them out in the woods, the bodies. And the story that I heard is that even in the wintertime when he would do his robbery and his killing, he would store the bodies in the basement or even the barn because the ground was too cold to dig up. Now, it's a very morbid, it almost sounds like the perfect horror movie, but where did that story originate from?
Now, I have found absolutely no historical evidence. Now, again, it may be out there, but I personally have not found it. I will go as far as this. It is entirely possible that you could have had somebody that would invite travelers up here to stay and murder them.
We asked Michele Ball, who's part of the management team here. She's also a paranormal investigator, and her team's investigated here a lot of times. I think we should walk up there, meet Michele, and get an idea of what's been going on ever since the Dandy family left. And a lot of the experiences that a lot of people have had accumulated over this 40-year period.
In all the years I've done this, and I've been kicking around way too many years, this is probably the Mount Everest of hauntings in the Western New York area.
I think we should walk up here. Let's see the house itself, and let's meet our guide, Michele.
Hi, welcome to Hinsdale, Cameron.
Thank you.
Tim, Ashley, come on in.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Come here, kiddo. Good to see you. Mwah.
All right, let's get
Come on.
inside here and see what's going on. So, Michele, thank you very much for meeting us out here with the Hinsdale house.
No problem.
This is one of the gems of the paranormal field at this point in time. There's been a lot of teams in and out of here. Very rarely does somebody leave without actually capturing something they believe is paranormal.
Right.
Now, Tim and I and Ashley outside by the pond had talked a little bit about the story and why we believe it might have came to be a haunted location. But the fact remains that this is a haunted location.
Very.
We touched a little bit about when it started with the Dandy family. Okay. Now, how many people were in the family? We talked about Laura. We talked about Clara.
Right.
Correct. So there was more
there
people.
was
Right?
Phil, who wasn't here a lot. He worked up in Buffalo. There was Clara, and then the 4 kids. There was Mary and Beth and Laura and Michael.
With the Dandy family and their experiences, Tim, were they having anything going on inside the house themselves, or was it mostly outside?
It started outside, but it gradually became something that kind of leached in. When I was here a few years ago, after the Michniks had passed away and it was really becoming abandoned, I was upstairs looking down and I saw a girl standing right at the foot of the stairs.
So you actually saw, an apparition of a girl.
It wasn't an apparition. She was as real as you and I. And she disappeared. And at the time, the back door was nailed shut, and there was only one way in and one way out, and the door was located in the living room. And I came out. I ran down there, ran outside, up the road. It was November. All the trees, you got to remember, everything is bare. You can see for a long time. I literally, I won't say ran, but I jogged halfway down that road. There's no way she could have got away.
Where did you see her?
I saw her right there, right at the right there. She was, as you can tell, you can still see by these hinges that there was an accordion door here, and it used to go across. And what I saw was a foot, just like this. The door was sticking out, and she was just peeking over the side. And I could see like a canvas. I always remember this. I would call them Keds, but it was a canvas sneaker. Jeans were bell-bottom, but she had like a polyester white shirt with like some design on it. She had a real round face. I call it a moon face. I mean, it's a real round face, and she had this sandy blonde hair, and she had a real sweet smile, and she's like this looking up at me. And I was up on the stairs looking down, and I saw this, and it's November, and I'm thinking, boy, she's gonna be cold. And we're up here. A lot of people come up here and trespass. They come in, they damage stuff. They want to see the haunted Hinsdale house. I thought it was just somebody out doing that, some kids. And I blinked my eyes. First thing I do if you ever see an apparition, ghost or whatever, you blink your eyes. I opened my eyes up. She's still there. She was there for a solid, I would say, 10 to 12 seconds. Solid. And something got my attention. I looked in, looked out, and she was gone. She was gone. The other thing that happened in these areas is that when they brought in Father Trebolt, who was a demonologist, and he taught up at St. Bonaventure University, to kind of calm things down, he was sort of like, I don't know if he was complacent or what, but when Clara sought him out and asked for help, he came up here and he did a mass in this room. He said the mass in the kitchen. And what I gather from it is that it was enough to And if it's negative, in a lot of negative cases, you bring in something like that, an investigation or something that may be religious in nature, it'll amp it up. And I think that's what happened here. It started to amp up. But this area here is very, very crucial because a lot of things that happen.
When you were seeing this woman at the bottom of the stairs, you're explaining to me kind of a 70s style look.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
the family that lived here during the 70s when the father both came in was the Dandy family.
Right.
Now, do you believe that this woman is connected to that family?
I personally do. And the reason why I do is because shortly after that, I wrote to Clara Miller, Clara Dandy. And I didn't get anything back from her. And what I wrote in the email was, Clara, on the chance that you might know who we were talking about, I had no idea what Laura looked like at the time. Would you know who this was? And I explained what happened. And she didn't write back like for 2 weeks. And I thought, oh my God, no, I must have offended her, And she wrote back, finally, she sent me this email and she says, "Dear Tim, you really gave me a start. What you saw, the person that you saw, certainly sounds like my daughter Laura." Now, Laura committed suicide after they moved this house, moved out of the house. And she had some emotional problems. And even Father Trabolt, he felt that she may have been the big trigger here. But she told, this comes from Paul Kenyon, who was an eyewitness at the time. He said that Laura always told people that if anything happened to her, she wants to come back to this house.
When I was in that room, I was standing there listening to everyone talk, and I felt like a hand on my shoulder, just like this. And I even jumped, and I kind of went like this, and then I listened to you guys talk, and I felt it again. I went like this. It was a hand, that's exactly how I felt, right on my shoulder.
Right there is what I was told the exorcism took place, right here.
Well, it's right here, and they were kneeling. Paul was kneeling here, and there was a couch there, and I think there was a couch there, and everybody was kneeling on the floor, and that the New York City Film School, those kids, they were here, and they actually, I believe there was a boom microphone that came through that window when they were doing. That's all that lost footage.
So this exorcism that they performed was believed to at least keep it at bay for a while, and then, like you said, it gained steam again, and it was so overwhelming that it drove the family from the house.
Right.
So this room was where the exorcism actually
took place, and at the end of it, and it was recorded by some film students. There was a groan in the house.
Now this would have been the first recorded exorcism.
This would have been probably one of the first recorded exorcisms at the time. And actually, I call them deliverances because a true exorcism deals with a human being. So this would have been an extreme clearing, but like a house exorcism, same thing.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything that you or anybody else that you guys told you experienced particularly with this room?
This room, yes. My third time here. First 2 times I hadn't experienced anything. The third time I was here, there was a couch over on that wall. Okay. I was sitting on it, and Jeff, who was a part of the house at the time, taking care of it, he was sitting in a chair over there. There was a mirror there, and he had a lip on it about this big, this tall. I watched a paper fly out of that, go over his head, land in the middle of the room. And then Adam was still talking, and I saw the dark man, the shadow man, whatever you want to call him, walked right up to me, and like he said, when you see something, you blink. I blinked, and I was trying to get focused to get a better look, and I got pushed into the back of the couch, and he was gone.
So you got what are you guys laughing about?
Holy shit.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that saw it.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I got goosebumps from head to toe.
Did you see that?
Holy crap.
Oh!
Was that touching me? Was that what was
That's probably who was touching you.
Who was that?
Whoa.
I was standing there, and something got my attention in Michael's room. And I'm looking, and I said, well, I gotta have somebody correlate this with me, validate it with me. I go, come here. I just pointed, actually went, oh! So we both saw it here.
Who is it?
Whoever it was a full shadow.
No, full shadow figure.
Full
Head to
shadow
toe.
figure.
Head to
Shadow
toe.
man.
Woo!
Last time I was here, I saw one upstairs, but this is the first time I've seen one in this
Look,
room.
every hair is standing up. That's gotta be
And
coming.
just as I was talking about.
That was good.
When you were
That's
in the
great.
other room and you had this experience with the shadow man, you said he physically pushed you.
No, I was pushed into the couch, but I had asked Corinne later on. I said I didn't feel anything touch me, but I got shoved into the couch, but nothing touched me. She said that was probably his energy, and I don't know anything about it. Could have, but I really went into the couch. And
So for you, was that your?
that was my first
That was
experience
your
at
first
this house.
paranormal experience.
Yes, and I've been attached to this house ever since.
That'll turn you into a believer real fast, huh?
Oh yeah.
So you've been investigating the paranormal ever since then, huh?
Yeah, and I've never left this house. I've been here ever since.
Yeah, so when she's talking about the shadow man, you guys have this great experience.
I'm just glad that somebody else saw it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come over here and I wouldn't have said anything if I actually hadn't seen it.
You know what's funny? Is that we haven't even gone upstairs yet. Let's go upstairs. It almost feels harder to breathe up here.
Yeah.
What Claire has told me, and from what I've experienced here, that room there, which was Mary's room, is the heart of this house. What I found in haunted locations, there's usually one place. We look for triggers. When I talk to some of the people out there that really work on negative cases, they always say you have to find two things. You have to find what powers the haunting and what the trigger is, why it started. And it seems like this place, this room here, always was very, very active. Now, when Claire was here and the Dandy family was here, there was always stuff going on in there. Mary got just so freaked, she ended up going downstairs.
She's one of the daughters?
One of the daughters. She slept with her sister, Beth, downstairs. It got to the point that there was so much activity in that room that they just closed the door and put the little latch on here. Now, also in this room that we're standing in, Clara came up here one time and saw a book floating, open,
Levitating?
just levitating. I've had battery drains up here. I've had like my K2s and recorders drain up here. Anything that wasn't plugged in when there was electrical service to the house, anything that was.
You were shaking your head, yes. Has this happened to you years
Oh,
before?
Yeah.
Cameras turn right
Yeah.
off as soon as you turn them on, and there's
Okay.
and they're fully charged. And I've had cameras turn off.
Okay.
This is what we believe is the heart of the house. Now, when I've been in here, and I'm getting shivers in here.
Yeah.
And even the first time I came in, I always had shivers when I walked in here. Now, I'm not claustrophobic at all, but this just, to me, I could sleep in any room in this house. It wouldn't bother me except for this one. Even Laura's bedroom, which is a real small one next door. This, for some reason, this room just never felt right.
So now,
That's
when
what
you
it
say
feels
this
like.
is the heart of the house, do you mean this is where all the paranormal things are stemming from? Something that
I believe,
has to do with this room?
I believe this is, if I was to look for a power source, and I was looking in a negative haunting, and I was looking for a power source, a location, this is the location that I would pick.
So what would give you the idea of that this is the location? Something that actually happened in this room?
Because of the,
previously?
historically, when we do the research, this room was the only room in the whole house that couldn't be occupied. When we started looking back into the activity of the 70s, this room is it's the only room that they locked off. They wouldn't use this room at all.
Okay.
Also, when I first came in here, it felt like I went through like a wall of static electricity. That's the best way. And I've never felt it since, but I do feel like something right now. I mean, you do too.
Yeah.
This has always been powerful. Now, if I was looking for a room that is the center point, the focus of whatever's going on, I would say it's this room.
What are you picking up from this room, Ash?
It's the same thing. You know, you walk through the house and you get different feelings in each and every room, but this is the one that felt the worst to me.
Right.
And it just felt like like my hair standing up and the tingling and the needles, pins and needles in my head and just the pressure in my head. That's exactly how it felt.
So we've worked our way throughout the building. We have several different possibilities of people's spirits that could be here, stemming from the outside of the property with a dancing woman by the lake, a woman in a Victorian dress, a man with the overalls and a gun, right? Coming in the house, we have a lot of different experiences. A shadow figure,
Yes.
okay, that's mainly seen inside the house. And then Tim, you've seen the shadow figure that's
Yes.
inside the house. And Tim, you've actually seen what we believe is one of the Dandy family, Laura. Now, there's just a lot going on here.
Right.
Inside this house where we have different layers, different times, different people, and different spirits that are all occupying the same building.
And we have some that we've probably never seen, but we have talked to.
Well, it seems like we got a lot of work to do here tonight. Ashley and I are going to go back down and meet the team, get them set up for the investigation.
I'm actually a little nervous.
Yeah.
I've been here before, but I've never investigated here before. My entire life.
Heard a lot of crazy stories about this place.
What we'll do first. What we're gonna do first. We're gonna do some EVP burst sessions. Me and Heidi. What that is we'll record for like 3-4 minutes. Both of us will ask some questions and we'll play it back to see what we get. The first place we'll do. Where do you want to go first?
Let's check out that
Want to
room.
go in there first?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely want to check out that room because I believe this is the room that there was an exorcism that took place.
Okay. I can feel a presence in this house. I'm not sure what it is. I want you to come forth and communicate with us. Touch one of these devices that Heidi's holding in her hands. And this little red light that I have in my hand, if you talk, I can hear you when I play it back. I want you to say your name.
Why are you here?
It was said that the exorcism that was done in this house was done at the spot that I'm standing in. What kind of entities are in this house? Were you mad that that happened?
Are you still here in this room? Are you still here in this room? Are you still here in this room?
Is it true that there was people murdered here?
We got a little bit of reaction from that.
Like I got a spike?
A little bit.
If the exorcism was done here, where I'm standing, obviously there would be a high amount of energy still left here from that event. I want to feel that energy. Can you help me feel it? Do something so we know that you're here. Anything.
Bring us back to that day where the exorcism happened. bring back all those feelings.
Whoa.
Did you hear something over there,
Yeah.
too? Do you want
It
to move
was
that way?
like a footstep, like a floor.
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
I heard that too. I heard something.
And that was over here. No, we weren't moving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hinsdale house. Well, look, you got Tim Shaw's book. See that?
Yeah. Good reading material.
Look at this. The Ghosts of Buffalo by Tim Shaw. Pick it up. Okay, so we're back in the Hinsdale house. Now, a lot of the activity from downstairs, we believe, has stemmed from the exorcism that had taken place here. Really, when it was taking place after they did it, let's go in this room. I mean, we're talking about the exorcism that happened in this room. That was me. And, but I heard noise coming from here. But basically, after they did the exorcism, they said the activity kind of calmed down for, a limited amount of time, and then immediately after, it was back and, more prevalent than ever. Even so, to the point where the family that was here was actually moved out of the house. Okay, so we've been sitting here just at the table, and we do have 3 different A2 meters. Again, these are picking up electromagnetic fields. So they're all picking up the same energy. They're all the same piece of equipment, all 3 of these green lights. So what we want to do is we want to open up a line of communication with any of the spirits that are resident to this home.
Whoa.
I definitely heard that.
That's the same noise
We're
that...
gonna have to walk in there. Oh, now we're getting spikes. Look at this. Get them on the camera.
Hi, guys.
So, thank you very much for joining me when I opened the line of communication. Okay, now that energy, might have been the expression of whatever was going on over here. Because I do believe that when these ghosts manifest themselves, it gives off this energy and almost puts out this energy field of electromagnetic field. So I'm blind without your camera, so you're going to have to lead us through here, back where we heard this.
Probably.
Just seemed like that.
I think it was different. It sounded more like chain, like a rattling. It's like, oh, look at my K2 meter.
Oh, yours is going and mine isn't.
Just one is going off. See that?
That's
Just
what you
like we
asked
asked for. Yeah, and I kind of feel weird.
Hi, who are we talking to tonight?
Can you do that again?
Wow.
Are you standing here
Now
with
it's
us?
touching mine.
Welcome.
Are you a
Mine's
man?
going to red.
Are you getting this on camera?
Yeah.
Can you stop for 1 minute so I can ask you a question, please? Thank you. Are we talking?
He's saying you're welcome.
Okay, back off for 1 minute.
Thank you.
Are we talking to a man? If you are a man, please light it up. Is this a woman? Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Hi.
Now, we're standing right in the spot where Tim said that he saw Laura Danby.
Is this Laura? Did you live here at the house?
Do you still live here at this house?
Are you Flo? Your name Flo?
And who exactly is Flo?
Flo was the last resident here.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about Flo.
Flo and Joe Misnick were an elderly couple that lived here. She saw spirits here a few times. One was at the end of her bed. And
She's like confirming that story.
Hi, Flo. She had a deal with them. Joe had gone to the local bar, and they said, you bought that house, that's the haunted house. And she made a deal with them. She said, I'm living here. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
This is true?
If you look at the webisodes that are on YouTube, it shows the whole house when they were here. Every room was piled full of dolls. You loved your dolls, didn't you, Flo? We're trying to get your dolls back, honey.
Just the amount of energy that is coming, that we're picking up with these devices is insanely high. This building has no power in it whatsoever. There is no power in this building. There's no electrical currents. There is nothing here. And look at the energy that we have in the middle of the house.
Flo, are you happy we're here with you?
We're happy to be here, Flo. Thank you very much.
I'm getting like...
It's like a Christmas tree. Yeah. And hers isn't lighting up at all.
Flo, can you just light this one up right here? Can you just touch this one right here in my hand? Yep.
Are you glad we're still at the house and we're trying to still save it?
She loves this place.
Yes, she did. Her granddaughter still comes here.
Yeah, she reached out to us on Facebook.
What's her granddaughter's name?
Jackie.
Remember, she reached out to us on Facebook.
Look at how high these things are going right now.
Hers isn't even going on.
And they're close enough, they should.
Do you know that Jackie comes here? You happy she still comes to the house? You want her to come back?
Do you want me to bring Jackie here for you, honey?
Okay, I want to go upstairs.
Okay.
So let's invite Flo. Flo, we were here talking earlier with Tim Shaw, our good friend. He was telling us that a room upstairs, a small room, is more of a focal point of some of the energy that's in this house. Is that true? Is there a centering focal point for the paranormal activity that's here? And is that focal point upstairs? Wow. Oh my God. Okay, so Flo, we'd like for you to join us as we go upstairs and enter what we believe is the heart. The hub. Okay, and this is insane. Flo. This is insane, and this is something that we do not get. Like, this is just...
Flo, do you want us to go upstairs? Touch the lights if you want us to go upstairs. Hold my hand and we're going to go up these stairs.
Come on, honey.
Here we go. Look at this.
You coming?
Yep. Come with me. Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this thing in.
It's white and it's not flickering.
He asked Flo to hold his hand while they walk
And
up the
I
stairs.
feel like my arm is tingling right now.
She's got a hold of
Look at this.
Let's come upstairs into this room. Okay, stay with me here, Flo, okay? Hold my hand.
Yeah, we're going
Come on.
right
Come with me.
in this room here.
Come on, honey. Come in here with me. Hold my hand. Come on. Stop as soon as I walked in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Stopped as soon as you walked in this room?
Yes.
Do you think she doesn't want to come in here?
Let me see. Are you still out here? Are you still out here? Can you hold my hand? Oh, sorry. I can't see it.
Is it back on?
No?
So that's really just kind of odd that this is the room that, we believe that this is kind of all centering around, and we had communication with what we believe is flow, you literally asked her to hold your hand while you went up the stairs, and from our indications, I mean, that is exactly what happened. And as soon as you crossed the threshold into this room, it turned off. The energy went away.
Yep.
It stopped
Is
at
she,
this room.
is she afraid to go in this room?
As soon as I came to this door, off, gone.
Historically, when we do the research, this room was the only room in the whole house that couldn't be occupied.